Hey there, space travelers, get ready to blast off into the cosmos, because today we're diving headfirst into the interstellar adventure that is Starfield. I've scoured some early reviews, and let me tell you, the stars aren't the only thing that are shining. But before we jump in, a little spoiler alert. It's not all smooth sailing out there. So grab your spacesuit, fasten your seatbelts, and let's warp into the 10 things we've learned from early reviews of Starfield. First, and the most important thing that we've learned from all the reviews, is that Starfield is still a Bethesda RPG, and if you've ever strolled through the virtual playground, you will find a familiar constellation. Pun intended. It's Bethesda's magnum opus, which puts their expertise at full display. But those who don't already dig the format of Bethesda's games won't find much new to love here. Starfield is very impressive in scale, from the vast number of star systems and planets that you can explore to the variety of gameplay mechanics that glue the experience together. And because of this large scale, game needs some time to blossom. Now, Todd Howard promised us the best main quest in Bethesda's games ever, and it could be that it is indeed the best. But the main quest in Starfield still doesn't quite soar among the stars. You start as a low-rank miner, extracting resources for a faceless corporation, and within minutes you come in contact with an artifact that activates vision of something bigger out in the galaxy. You are then joined a small organization called Constellation, whose sole purpose to collect those artifacts and unveil their purpose. And without spoilers, that's pretty much all you do through the whole storyline. You collect those artifacts and bring them back to the Constellation HQ. We also have mixed reviews regarding main quest ending and the characters that surround you during the walkthrough, and in my experience, if there are mixed reviews on something, it's definitely worth checking out. Now, if you're planning to explore the cosmos on your PC, brace yourself for a wild ride through the stars. From what I've heard, frame rates can go as wild as zero-gravity dance parties. This game is pretty demanding for PC resources, so my assumption is that you need at least an RTX 3080 or similar AMD card for comfortable Full HD high settings experience. Now, speaking of Xbox Series X, you can encounter various FPS stutters, especially in big cities and on chaotic fights and main quest locations, but nothing too serious. Though I must admit that most of the reviews mention they have never encountered a bug that ruined their experience completely. And overall, for such a big RPG, it is indeed a very stable and completed game. Most of the reviews are pretty negative about space travel. The game allows you to build your own spaceship to navigate the cosmos, travel to distant stars and explore remote planets, but in fact, it's not as fun as it seems. When flying, players are essentially dropped into a glorified skybox where they can float in front of a distant planet and occasionally pass by some rocks or floating debris. Of course, as we've seen from many early access gamers, you can fly wherever you want, but it's not rewarding and for the most part, just not fun. Dogfighting or ship combat, on the other hand, like most of the things in Starfield, is getting much better over time. If you spend enough time learning the system and invest skill points into ship combat mechanics, eventually you'll get a pretty fun space fighting simulator. And it can become even better when you win one of those fights against those space bandits. You can board their ship and loot everything they had. Starfield is built that way that most of the time you will be solving your problems with guns. Unless you really invested into this new persuasion mechanic, of course. Most of the reviews are either just okay with shooting mechanics in Starfield or really satisfied with it. Everyone also mentioned that the game has a great arsenal of guns for every taste in the galaxy. Even though some people were not excited about shooter elements in the game, they still admit that Starfield has by far the best shooting mechanics of all Bethesda's games. Additionally, combat in general and shooting in particular can become even better if you put some extra skill points into corresponding perks and unlock movement techniques and abilities later in the game. Starfield takes a swing at delivering a richer gameplay experience through its extra features and exploration, but there are some strings attached. Its most notable achievement lies in the staggering number of over 1,000 planets available for exploration, a technical marvel in its own right. Each of these planets has its own unique style, gravity, resource goodies, quirky alien neighbors, not to mention points of interest like secret caves and mining sites. But hold on to your space helmets, because sometimes it's almost too good to be true. You'd think with so many planets you'd never get bored. But nope, a lot of these places are like ghost towns, just vast stretches of emptiness. For several times you stumble upon a massive hidden point of interest, you'd feel the thrill of exploration. But soon you'll most likely get the trick. They kinda copy-pasted stuff all over the universe. A handful of assets and locations are heavily reused. And sometimes it gets to the point where the whole cave complex with item locations and everything is reused. Nevertheless, it's essential to recognize a reality that extends beyond the core game content. Bethesda's games owe a considerable debt to their vibrant modding communities, which breathe new life and creativity into titles over time. I can already envision a future where these barren worlds are transformed into bustling, custom-made cities, wildlife oases, and much more. Once again, we have very mixed reviews regarding RPG mechanics. Some reviewers pointed out that Starfield RPG elements have lots of limitations, starting from the fact that dialogue options evoke slightly different responses or tease a little more information, but almost never influence the overarching path. Yes, you can bribe NPC in question or persuade them with this new persuasion minigame, but it will still lead to the same result. On the flip side, other reviewers praise the character building system that lets players pick their starting traits, which has clear effect on their journey. There's also a sense of building your character and progression, which is getting better and better over time. What we have to embrace is Starfield's RPG system isn't really concerned with giving you multiple options to solve problems or complete objectives. It gives you game mechanics like extra weapon damage for specific weapon types, already mentioned persuasion, faster movement, bigger inventory, and many others that would better fit to your gaming style. And in the end, there is no best build for the game. It's rather you exploring space in a manner you prefer. And it sounds awesome. At some point of the game, you'll find yourself in one of the big cities scattered across the universe. It could be a massive metropolis like New Atlantis or a cyberpunk-inspired city of neon, but the game is structured that way that there is no build-up to discovering those cities. You pretty much just teleport to those cities with a cutscene, which deprives you of the opportunity to discover them yourself. And there is another pain: find your way around these cities, because for some reason there are no actual map of places in Starfield, mini or otherwise. I guess it could be a pre-thought game design decision to give you a feeling of scale of the universe. You don't need no map of the city if you need to solve your problems across the universe, right? But it's still weird. Anyhow, I'm sure there will be plenty of mods that add different maps, and if that's what you want in the game, you can easily get it. You know what's seriously cool about Starfield? It's all those awesome spaceships buzzing around the settled systems. And guess what? They're like Lego sets for space nerds. If you're interested in shipbuilding, you should definitely invest more in starship design skills, because man, it's a blast putting those space puzzle pieces together. You can totally customize them, and it's a treat seeing your starship chilling on the landing pad, getting you all excited before you jump into the pilot's seat. But beware that there is no ability to respect your points. So if you're interested in shipbuilding, don't spend too much of them on other things. Now, here's the cosmic silver lining. Outpost building acts as a strong creative tool, as players can easily establish complex bases on any planet to gather resources and more. And the best part, you get to play boss and assign your crew to run the show. It's like arts and crafts for space adventurers. Now, here's the kicker: Starfield starts slow, like slower than snail on a rocket, but after you've put in dozen hours into it, it does get good. That's right, it's a slow burner, but it burns bright. So, there you have it, space adventurers. Starfield, the good, the bad, the cosmic. With a Metacritic score of 86 out of 100 at the time of the recording, it is clear that this game has something special to offer, even if it takes a little time to shine. Now, who's ready to embark on their own epic space adventure? Thanks for watching, stay curious, and happy gaming. Click the like button if you liked the video, leave a comment in the comment section below, and please consider subscribing to this channel if you would like to see more videos like this one.